Hi Madison, it's Missy here. Just going through your final week 6 submissions. Um, Thank you, first of all, for your wonderful words and your reflection on the class. It was really a whirlwind, and for me, it was a joy. You guys did a superb job at carrying through each week and trying to keep up with the pace. I know it was really tough. Online isn't for everybody, but for all of you who made it through, it truly is a fun place to be, and we can make our learning environment as fun and as interactive as we want to. With that said, on your boards, I know I went through them on the weekly submissions, and you can go back and reflect on the feedback that I've given you. I'm glad that you did visit the transition of design, changing the design slides around and the slides, your design format. Just a couple things, a couple details. Of course, I just clicked on it now, but I was going to pull out that just only a couple need to be brushed up on your MLA. You've done well on most of them, and I think it was probably just a couple that you need to go back and I want to find the one here. This is a good example of it being done properly. You don't have to bullet. You can remove the bullets, but for PowerPoint, it's okay. The other thing I think I mentioned on your slides was your amount of text, and I'm using your first board as an example. I would definitely scale that down. Concentrate on balancing out your images, maybe making like these two period ones are good size. You do, I don't know if that was a purposely done outline or if it was just the way the picture was, or actually you've got another one here. Make sure that all the sizes are um, they're pretty much consistent. You want to balance out. Think of a symmetrical. Think of a line down the middle and balancing out each side of that line to be sort of the same weight. Think of if you've ever seen those old weight machines where they kind of have two little, you put weights on each side and they balance out. That's the same thing you want to do on a board. If you do have a larger image, you want that image to be your focal point. It might be one specific period image that you're just really making a statement. So I definitely would just go through and brush up on reducing down and keeping your font consistent, the size, the style. You can have some descriptive pieces in there about what you think is an inspiration tie in with the modern and the past. But I definitely would go through them. You did select an interesting design template. But what I would probably do, and this is just an overall opinion, is for a solid. This is one of my favorite backgrounds here. It really does suit most all layouts. Um, you can also go for just a solid. And then as you do as well, you can, and that you can find, this one has like some little bit transition of a gradient here. And you can take some colors. This is pretty for this board. And you can also change each board individually and make the colors different and the layout different so that it can be, each board have its own sort of um, nuances, so it's not everything looking like it's all uniform. It's all up to you. This is your world, and like the Bob Ross painter, he used to say, it's your world and you paint whatever you want in it. I'm going to go back and put you back here. The uh, other thing is, I don't know what version you have of PowerPoint. I've always mentioned in the feedback about the design ideas. It will sometimes give you a pop-up. That one doesn't, but it depends on, I think that feature is only in specific versions like the 365 Office. Otherwise, good job, and I appreciate you taking the time to search around and trying to find those just right. This was probably my favorite board of all, and I think I mentioned that in the feedback. This red dress is just such a perfect match. as is the, I think it's a lilac color. Beautifully done. This one I think is probably my favorite of them all. With that said, let's close out. On your essay, this is actually this we can use for the Grecian period too, can't we? I think this definitely has a look that goes and transcends very different but very distinct periods. This one as well from Zara is one that many have pointed out, and I think it's probably the one that sticks out the most with the sleeve details. And it's like I mentioned to Rosario, is that you can do something so simple as just a straight dress and take one detail like the sleeves and add it, the square neckline, and that really takes us to the Renaissance. So that's a great job in your reflection here. I'm glad that I always love, this is my favorite part to read, is where you've kind of all reflected on the 6 weeks of the class and how much you've learned, and it's evident, that's for sure. Again, your MLA, and I'll leave you at that. And I think you've got the hang of it all. Take care and best of luck to you.